What's up, guys? XRP Charts here with an in-depth look at where we're heading today. Okay, yesterday we just fell off the face of the planet, and yeah, we made a lovely little five-wave structure moving down here. You see, we fell out, down, and down. So we have a pretty clearly defined five waves there. So regardless of our moves now, I really do think that that was the end of um, yeah, this little movement down. I do expect us to maybe consolidate here and then start moving up from here. So I still haven't sold any XRP from up here. I actually thought that we were going to hold that 42 that we had marked out from our last video. Yeah, it fell right through that. So sorry, guys. I didn't anticipate a breach of 8,000 on Bitcoin, and that's what I said in the last video. But yeah, anyway, we'll keep going. I'm still in the same boat as you guys. I haven't sold any XRP. What we try and do now is there's no point selling down this end of town. In my opinion, I think we can reasonably expect a retracement back up at least around to yeah, back up into the 40s there somewhere, even if we do start to make another leg down. So what I did have originally was that we'll perhaps forming a flat correction from this bigger structure. What I've identified this morning, and just after looking at the Bitcoin charts, I just posted on Twitter. If we have a look on the dailies at a few of these, we've got this pretty good diagonal support, and this is on Bitstamp, also Kraken, and also Binance. Bitfinex isn't as good. It's a little bit of tether manipulation on the chart, so it doesn't line up as well as, but the other major ones are really respecting this. So I rarely use Bitfinex because of the fluctuations in price that sometimes skew the charts a bit. So if it's just on one chart, then it's not really good. But if it's across a couple of charts, then it seems to be a point that traders are respecting. So this may offer us some interim relief in the short term. So what we're looking at now is if that area does hold, and this does start to just trend upwards, and obviously it's going to drag the whole market up. So pretty good indication that this is going to be the low point for the next couple of days. Obviously, if we break this line, I think we'll fall probably quite heavy. I think probably 6.8 is going to be the next thing that we go down to. So we really don't want to be breaking below that. We've got the candle close in a couple of hours, or what have we got? No, 25 minutes. I'd like to see that candle close above sort of 7,650. If we can get up another $20 or $30, that'd be good, just to give the bulls a little bit more confidence to close up above there. Okay, so back to XRP. I did have a breach line down about here at around the 39.5 mark. We did close a 4-hour candle below that. That was based on yeah, doing another 5-wave move down. But what I'm looking at here now is that I'm pretty happy with this count on this leg here for a wave 1. It doesn't seem to be as, I mean, we can get a clearly defined 5 waves in there. I did have it as an ABC for the big move down, but what took my interest was this little structure in here. So I did have this as, yeah, as a 5-wave move down, but when we're doing Elliott waves, some of these subwaves should break up nicely into waves themselves, and these all seem to be ABCs. Like it just looks like an A, B, C, and then you can break that line up into an A, B, C. Okay, so that to me indicates that this is corrective. Now, if it was going to be, and for it to be an impulsive move, this would also have to be a truncated fifth, which just doesn't make a lot of sense. It's like we're really trying to force it. So what I was thinking was that I'd identified this one as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, when this quite possibly could be an ABC, and making up a larger ABC up to here. And this has retraced just about 90% up the top here, and then we've got a clear 5-wave move down. Now, what that would indicate is that this is what we call a WXY. Okay, so it's a combination correction. I won't go into the details too much, but what that is sort of a sideways correction pattern that can form the wave 2 of a bigger impulsive structure. So if this is our wave 1, this could very well be our wave 2 that we've just finished now, and then we begin our big wave 3 that we've been hoping for a long time. Now, I'm not saying it is going to happen. I'm saying it's very possible. It really depends on Bitcoin holding this diagonal. I think that's what I'm looking at the moment. But the other interesting thing that supports this is that if we do the Fibonacci retracement here, you can see that we've bounced right at the 786 as well. So, and what we know and what I've said in the past is that the XRP loves to almost trace 100%, retrace 100% after a wave 1, which would be this one, and the 786 is usually the region that we target. So there's a couple of things in our favor at the moment. Obviously, so if we, how do we know if this is going to be the case? Well, if we have a look, if we go on a 1 hour chart, so it gives a little bit more of an indication. If we are closing a 1 hour candle above, let's give it a little bit extra, let's say 41. Yeah, get it on 40. And say we're closing a 1 hour candle above 41. This will it would be a good indication that this wasn't a wave 1 because we can't retrace into the wave 1 territory coming back here for a wave 4. So if we do start closing up above 41, this will start giving us a little bit more merit. So that's what I'm looking for at the moment, is a close above 41. That's on the big stamp chart. We're at 39.3 now. If Bitcoin can do something in the next, I really want to see just another $20 on Bitcoin in the next 20 minutes would be great. If we get that close above 7,650, there we go, starting to get up 7,640. That'll just give the bulls a little bit more of an edge in heading forward. Now, this sort of has channeled here as well. I haven't actually looked at it, but just glancing at it now, it almost looks like it's channeled in there somewhere. So yeah, it's close. So this in itself could be another correction as well, and then we just keep following this line upwards. So there's a couple of things at the moment. This seems to be my best indicator. Is if we break this line, I think we're in trouble. If we stay above this line, even if we could just at least get a few more days of heading up, but we may be able to just get a little bit more momentum to push up to those 10s. I mean, there's nothing on here yet that's screaming that we're going to low 5s or 4s or anything like that to me. If that line holds, then I think we have a pretty decent chance of doing something nice. Yeah, so we're getting a nice little bounce here now. But we knew that we were going to do some upward moving. What we really want to see is a close above this 41. If we, yeah, I can't see any real subwaves in here. I think that looks completed to me. We've got the volume here kicking in now to sort of back it up. Yeah, sorry, it sounds like I'm rambling, guys, but I hadn't really prepared anything this morning. I'm just doing this by the seat of my pants as I'm looking at it. But yeah, the thing that this one here, I guess on the 1 hour it looks like a 5, but there's no real subwaves. There's no real subwaves in there. So, and the fact that this was the low point here would mean that would have to be truncated. So I really do think that's an ABC into an ABC in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's sort of the best thing we've got. Obviously, if we start getting rejected heavily a few times at the 41 region, we're going to have to reconsider the possibility of this downward movement. And obviously, if we break through this dotted line, I'll be very tempted to unload a big bag as a sort of precaution, because I think we can reasonably expect to, what's our next support after that? Yeah, if we fall through there, we're sort of, yeah, 6.8. I really can't see this. It's only a little few bumps, maybe at 7.2. Yeah, I think 6.8 would probably be the reasonable point there if we fall through that line. So hopefully we can continue this upward momentum and yeah, get a close above 7650 in the next 15 minutes. Alright guys, I hope that helps. Like I said, I haven't sold anything yet. I've just been riding these red waves down. But the plan was to get back up on this retracement and unload if we do go back down here. So we'll just have to watch that over the next few hours and to days, I think. So that's the mark. Close above 41 on the hour. I think yeah, we're going to be in with a bit of a chance for some more upward movement. All right, guys, I hope that helps. Cheers.